Good evening, San Antonio.
It is that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time of the evening again when we say, don't trip on our mushrooms. I am your hostess, Harley Quinn, and across from me is...
The Adder Mad Hatter, Deke Rivers.
So, we have so much to touch base on. We have the government shutdown. We have Allison Mack.
Oh, that's going to come in a minute.
We have the Gypsy Blanchard movie. Like, where do we begin?
Well, first of all, let me get something out of the way before we get to the point of pleasantries. I just want to say that I've been watching a YouTube show called 50 Amazing Facts. And I found out that there's two things that I'm going to investigate because I got to look into this. I think they're funny as hell. Well, three things if you count the dildo thing, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Oh my god, you have to tell us about the dildo thing.
We're not going to get into that right now. Okay, so evidently there's a perfume of Pizza Hut where if you spray it on yourself, you smell like an open box of pizza.
Ew, that's gross.
And then...
I don't understand why you would do that. Like, I'm just sitting around like, oh gee, I had a great idea. I think I'm gonna invent a perfume where I smell like a box of pizza. Fucking nasty. Nasty.
And then evidently there's supposed to be a gay bomb where, I don't know, I heard that there's supposed to be a gay bomb where they're gonna drop it on us and it's gonna make us love everyone, so I don't know.
That'll be the
and sparkly and glittery and all that stuff.
I'm pretty sure even if somebody did drop the gay bomb, you know, these white conservative dudes are gonna literally lose their shit. Like, they're gonna be like, yeah, just because you're supposed to love each other doesn't mean I'm supposed to love you. I'm not gay. You know somebody's gonna die over that dumb shit. Already, like, I'm not even putting a deal.
Okay, so let's get right down to business.
Okay.
I
want to start because I just saw the movie about Gypsy Blanchard, which I'm gonna go into some backstory because not everybody may know what this is. I
only heard a little bit of the story, but go ahead.
Okay, so Gypsy Blanchard apparently was this girl who lived with her mom, Dee Dee, and apparently. I think I've talked about this before on... I
think you mentioned it a couple podcasts ago.
So, allegedly... not allegedly. So, this woman, her mother, Dee Dee, kept saying that this girl was sick and she had all these things or whatever. But it turned out that the girl was actually not sick. She was normal and she was a pawn in her mother's, like, weird game or whatever. So... They just made a Lifetime movie about it, and it's so obvious that it's about Gypsy Blanchard and her mom, Dee Dee. Well, they changed the names of the movie or whatever, but you're like, it's still, like, everything about it is still the same. It's still the guy that Gypsy hooked up with that killed her mom. It's still the same house, like, filmed probably right at the house they lived in. Everything, even Marcia Gay Harden looks just like her mom, so, like, you know, just because you change the names, guys, doesn't mean that we didn't know what it's about.
Yeah.
But anyways, the movie is hella weird. The story is hella weird. And to this day, I do not understand why she was prosecuted. Like, I just heard that girl, Centoya Brown, who allegedly killed who allegedly killed a person that she slept with because, anyways, whatever, you can look that up. She's getting out of prison, and I'm like, wait a second, Gypsy Blanchard allegedly had a hand in killing her mom, who was making her sick and was probably going to kill her to begin with, and you guys put her in jail? Does anybody think that is appropriate? No, but here we are. And do I think there's anything fair? Oh, hold on just a second while we're at it, because I'm flipping my damn hair. Y'all want to tell me that you're going to put this girl who's been through this in jail for the rest of her life? Meanwhile, the men that killed Ramon Navarro got off after 7 years. Y'all can suck both sides of my fat ass.
Not to mention, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later on, but there's also the Emmett Till story. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Oh
Those men got off too. I'm like so.
And then the woman on her deathbed from Emmett Till.
Yeah.
She confessed to lying. Like, bitch, who the fuck do you think you are to lie on someone? Dude, one of the trippiest pictures I've ever seen is of Emmett Till lying in his fucking car.
I know, that's a horrific image. I've seen it. I've seen it in my damn stuff. And not to mention his poor mama crying over him.
Yeah, like, and Hollywood Hollywood is busy over here making remakes and stuff like that, and meanwhile, these stories like the Emmett Till story and Gypsy story, they're getting like lifetime treatment, and they're missing valid points to bring this home, to bring these stories out there to the public, because not everybody knows about it. And I'm just sitting there like, why? I've yet to see a movie about Madam C.J. Walker, who invented the straightening comb, who was the first black businesswoman. I've yet to see that. I've yet to see a Robert Johnson movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Anyways, so there's been some news in the NXIVM Allison Mack case.
Yeah, I just saw some of it right now.
Let me just flip over to the other thing, because I just want to see if there's anything that's been updated since I last saw it. But apparently she was in court a few
days ago,
weeks back, before, I think it was before Christmas. Excuse me. To go over her case, right? And apparently she's trying to plead that, or use Scientology as a defense, claiming that Scientology basically does the same thing that she's alleged to have done, and that how come she doesn't get, how come she's being prosecuted because Scientology isn't getting prosecuted in her sex trafficking case or whatever. So, hold on, let's see. Okay, so here's an official, quote. It says, lawyers for the accused NXIVM sex slave cult and former Smallville star Allison Mack are arguing that she isn't guilty of inducing forced labor if the Church of Scientology...
Yeah, that's what I just read.
...isn't guilty of the same charge. In court papers filed yesterday in Brooklyn federal court, Mack's lawyers argue that Mack's threat to release naked photos and disparaging comments made by cult members against their relatives doesn't rise to the threat of serious harm required to prove someone engaged in forced labor. Mack and NXIVM leader Keith Raniere are accused of using photos and statements to get free work and forced sex with Raniere. Okay, here's my thing on this. Like, I get what they're trying to say. However, and I cannot believe this is coming out of my mouth because I cannot stand Scientology, but here's the thing. Okay, NXIVM is supposed to be the self-help thing, the seminar
for women's empowerment,
for like women's empowerment or whatever, you know, ... Scientology, on the other hand, is actually listed as a religious organization. It's actually called a church, okay?
Yeah.
So, and with the church, you know, they have exemptions and things like that, tax exemptions or whatever. However, we know from ex-members like Leah Remini and Mike Rinder. Mike Rinder, by the way, he was like in the like inner circle and chasing people out or whatever. We know their tactics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We know that this is what they're doing or whatever. And we've heard from ex-members who are saying that they've torn up their families or whatever. However, the only reason why the authorities cannot physically go in there is because of the separation of church and state. That's the only reason why. But NXIVM, on the other hand, was supposed to be like a women's self-help group or whatever, not a church or whatever. So I don't think her Scientology claim holds water. And second of all, I'm not done with you yet, Scientology. I'm coming for you in the next episode. So don't act like I'm in your corner here.
But either way, point being is, you can't put a dress on a donkey and call it a wife.
Yeah, or you can't deny that pig and lipstick's still not a pig and lipstick. Also,
bring in the hooker lips, please. I'll explain that later.
Also, everyone in this case, like all the bigwigs that got arrested with her,
mm-hmm.
they're all like jumping ship against everyone. I think the Brofmans from the Seagram Fortune were all jumping ship and saying that it was all Allison Mack and Rhaenyra who were doing this. And
but she looks like a crazy ass bitch.
And then I think it was Lauren Salzman's daughter was saying that she also was she was lured by her mom Nancy, who's also one of the it's like Nancy and Rhaenyra are like the like high priest and priestess or whatever of this like stupid cult or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But again, my whole thing comes to this. I don't care if you're joining a women's empowerment movement or whatever. Now I understand that she's an actress, Allison Mack, and she wanted attention. My whole thing is like, okay, like you couldn't see the warning signs.
What, she couldn't shoplift or rob a bank like normal people?
No, but I'm confused about how these things happen. Like, how do you get sucked into this cult and be like, oh yeah.
Well, see, okay, and I'm sorry to say this because you're a woman, but women buy into this shit. Okay, women are told shit, and they buy into it, and they believe it, getting brainwashed.
Yeah, but here's my thing. I'm a normal person, okay? I'm not Allison Mack. I'm not an actress. I don't need attention. I don't need, I don't need love bombing or whatever, because I have that. I have you and I have my son to tell me that y'all love me and that you're, whatever. But, like, at what point do you like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Like, Catherine Oxenberg in her book, I don't remember the name of the book, you guys. You guys are going to have to look it up. I am so sorry. I should have been a little bit better prepared on that. But she was saying that, they had seminars and classes, and she paid for a few with her daughter. But then she said when they started separating her and her then husband, Casper, that's when she started to be like, okay, wait a second. This is not right. Why are these things happening? And then they couldn't talk about the things that they were doing, the same thing. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're part of any religion. If I'm Jehovah's Witness, if I'm Jewish, if I'm Catholic, if I'm Buddhist, and they tell me that I can't tell you or Buddy or anything that we talk about or do, I'm gonna be like, y'all are fucking crazy because I tell everyone where I'm at and what I'm doing because...
And you better freaking tell me because...
Yeah, because it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like Scientology. They want you to spend all this money on like classes and books, and I was like, where are y'all getting this damn money from? Because I know I don't have that.
Because I know half the people in Scientology ain't even that good actors.
Well,
or
no,
actresses.
I know that, but I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. I'm talking about luring people to join this. I'm talking about NXIVM here, okay? I'm talking about like using this empowerment to lure people into this cult because NXIVM is proven as a cult. It's not listed as a religious entity or whatever. Again, like I said, Scientology is listed as a religious organization,
right?
Church, which you know how I feel about it. It's also a cult too, but I'm not coming for Scientology yet, or the Queer Fools. That's gonna be a whole other
topic. Yeah.
For another day.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're not coming for them this show, but Scientology, you're on our list, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my whole point. Like, I don't understand how this happens, or like, where your mind is, or whatever. Like, you're not thinking that this is happening. Like, I would need.
But again, I feel like these women get brainwashed into believing shit.
Yeah, and not only that, but then she doesn't have someone normal, or she's not with her parents, or she's not with a normal guy or girl or whatever who's on the outside. They're just like, wait, this does not sound right.
Okay, even if she did have somebody like Heather Oxenberg, would they even listen? Because look at what happened to her.
Well, true, but I'm just saying, like, I also think that Catherine Oxenberg should have done a lot better if she's looking for like empowerment or whatever. I mean, after all, she's a freaking princess. I'm pretty sure, they could have. Anyways, that's beside the point. I'm not here to rag on Catherine Oxenberg. But anyways, those are some of the things I don't understand. And I don't know how they're allowed to, get along or exist in this world. And okay, so back to not Tammy Blanchard, sorry. Gypsy Blanchard. Buddy and I were watching the movie together, and I was like, I don't understand how this woman could get away with having Munchausen by proxy syndrome and making her daughter sick and telling everyone that her daughter was sick in 2005. Like, maybe in the early, like, late 80s, early 90s, and that shit would have gone over, but this is 2018. Like, how does this happen?
Yeah. Not even in the early 2000s. I would say, like, maybe the 80s.
Yeah.
Maybe in the early...
in the early 2000s. I said the 80s and the 90s, before everything was really, really high-tech or whatever. This was happening, like, between 2005 and 2013.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me? Like, excuse me right now. Because I don't understand, like, and apparently some doctors did catch it, and she would just, like, disappear. I'm like, I'm sorry, where's CPS in all of this? Where's the Department of Family Services? Like, I'm sorry. I couldn't even walk out. I couldn't even get in a car accident in Texas with my kid in the back seat without CPS coming to visit me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, I don't...
Meanwhile, you got people leaving kids in hot cars.
Yeah, hot cars, cold cars. You got people coming in faking carjackings and they murder babies. I'm just saying, because I don't...
Okay, now let's get to the topic that I've been dying to talk about for the last couple of weeks.
The government shutdown?
This government shutdown. Now, first of all, let me address this, okay? Let me just say, I have never supported the government in anything, okay? And here come y'all, like, oh, Obama should do the government. That was for 17 days, like Cardi B said.
And he was doing it to get stuff for the military and for healthcare. Stuff that we actually needed. Not no damn border wall, not throwing no damn tantrum like a freaking idiot or whatever. And not for knowing... And Obama shut down the government for 17 days. He gave everyone back pay. Everybody was fine. You know, this was a whole month long, and he said it on TV that he was going to shut down the government because he wasn't going to get his stupid border wall.
And now he's only opening this thing for 3 weeks, and now we don't know what the future's going to hold because even if he still doesn't get his border wall, we don't know what's going to happen. He can keep it shut down for longer.
Exactly. And this guy's like a freaking toddler. Like, he doesn't listen. He doesn't want to listen. I don't know why this man is so blinded by his damn hatred of Hispanics.
And I got a newsflash for him. The one thing he hates the most, it's always going to be there. And I know that for a fact.
Okay, so here's my thing, Mr. Trump. I'm going to read you like a book. The only reason that you're afraid of Hispanics and others like them is because you know that you and your family, as white people, are on the fucking way out with your dinosaur ass. Pretty soon, y'all are gonna be a minority. You won't have as much power as you used to do now. That's what pisses you and all the other white people in your cabinet off. That's why you guys can't fucking control yourself. You're trying to hold down other good people because you know deep down inside that your time is coming. And let me tell you something. Tell you something else. All your little people that are already got arrested because of Russia, you're next. I truly cannot wait to watch. Oh, excuse me. I really and truly cannot wait till I'm watching Orange is the New White House. Boom, I said it. Moving on.
If they testify against him, because half of the people that they arrested don't want to testify against him. That's what I heard on the news.
Well, they can shit in one hand and what in the other. They're all going down.
Anyway, now that that's out the way.
I'm all sneezy.
Yeah, now that that's out the way, there's a couple of other things I wanted to address. Hold on a second. Snowy's going crazy. I don't know if y'all can hear him.
Did you hear Ronda Rousey's going to leave WWE finally?
Goodbye!
Exactly.
What was I going to say? There's something else. I was going to address something. Oh! Let's talk about the subject that we discussed a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember the Bruiser Brody incident.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
So I don't know if a lot of you all know this. Probably you do. You don't. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I've been one since probably since '97, but I'll get into that later. And then I kind of quit watching it for a while, and then started watching it again in 2006 when DX came back. Okay, so to make a long story short and to get past all that, there was a wrestler in the late 70s, early 80s to late, like, maybe 80s as well, named Bruiser Brody. Now, if y'all don't know who it is, Google him. I'll wait. Anyway, time's up. Wait, no, so, seriously. Okay, so, this wrestler named Bruiser Brody was murdered in Puerto Rico. Now, I let Harley hear the story about it, and evidently some guy that I guess was supposed to be his friend or that he was traveling with came into the dressing room, had a towel around his hand, asked Bruiser Brody to walk with him into the back, I guess the shower area, and he told him, I need to talk to you, and then within about, I would say, 2.5, maybe 3 seconds, he stabbed him. And then he had to wait 45 minutes for an ambulance because the arena was packed and they couldn't get in and whatever. But anyway, he ended up dying. Anyway, and I told Harley the story. And the thing that gets me about this is the people that did it. I'm not gonna name names, but the people that did it are in the WWE.
Jose Gonzalez, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck if you're in the Hall of Fame or anything. Yeah, we're looking right at you. We're discussing who you are. Don't worry, you'll get yours. The coldest, darkest place in hell is reserved especially for you and your kind. Continue.
Okay, anyway, and he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how fucking dare WWE ban and suspend Hulk Hogan for saying some friggin' racial shit, which I could get over, but you don't freaking suspend a damn murderer who killed somebody and took them away from their own kid.
And not put China into the Hall of Fame because, Stephanie, you're a home-wrecking ass bitch and everyone's got your fucking number, so try me. Try me!
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that in a minute, too. And, okay, anyway, and they supported somebody who killed this guy and literally took him away from his son. Okay, his son never got to really grow up with his dad. Okay, so on the subject of that, I'm jumping ship to China. Okay, I know a lot of you may or may not know this, but China was in the WWE for a long time, and if I may say, she was one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time.
She used to wrestle men, like Eddie Guerrero.
So from what I understand, Triple H was I guess, married to her or dating her, I'm not sure. And then he got with Stephanie, and because he got with Stephanie and she didn't want China there anymore, she ended up firing her, and then on bad terms with WWE because of stupid Vince, he won't let China back. And then I know a lot of y'all used to get mad and be like, oh, China's doing this, China's doing that. Yeah, if you were blacklisted from a wrestling company, wouldn't you be doing that too?
Exactly. So yeah, Steph, we're also looking at you to fix some things. You know, when you were gonna name that thing after Moolah, and then people went
Mae
after
Young.
you.
It was Moolah.
Moolah, I forgot what it was. And people went after you saying that Moolah wasn't shit and she hurt girls. You went away. You right away went and fixed it. Oh, but when people bring up China and there's other things that you do, and you
what's your defense? You're like, oh well, she was in porn. Like half the bitches. And another thing, the guy that was in some of the pornos with her is also in the WWE Hall of Fame, and I'm gonna address that. How come it's a different standard for dudes than it is for girls? Exactly. I rest my case.
Hulk Hogan too. We're looking at you, so we're just. But
my point on Hulk Hogan is, okay, I don't care about the sex tape. That's a whole different story. My thing with that is they banned him for using a racial slur, okay, on some kind of tape. So,
but they want to promote Moolah and everybody else.
Yeah, and people that kill the guy in freaking Puerto Rico and don't do nothing about it.
Exactly. So, you know, WWE, what's up with that? You know, like, come on, y'all.
And by the way, Bruiser Brody wasn't the only one that was stabbed. Unfortunately, he was the only one that was killed, but he wasn't the only one that was stabbed.
No. Anyways. But, yeah, so that was an interesting story. And so a lot has happened with us. Yes. We officially got our camera. We're going to start vlogging and doing comedy sketches on our YouTube channel over the next couple days.
I think it's going to be on Harley's mostly because mine...
We're going to revamp the Harley Quinn channel to the D-Tune channel. And Deke and I are going to post videos that we make. Some will be of us together. Some will be
of just me or just her
or just Deke. So that's what we're gonna be doing, and we're gonna kind of figure it out and play with it and see what happens because it's been something that we've always wanted to do. And we don't see enough people doing comedy sketches or doing some of the things that they love. And since we're huge TV and movie fans, we're like, fuck it, we're gonna do it. And
Yeah. We might even redo Starsky and Hutch and call it Deacon Harley.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. It depends on how much time I have. I've been on a 4-day weekend from work, and I'm loving life. I'm, like, in it.
Yeah, and she's not as angry as she is when she's got to go to work. Like, I mean, she hasn't stabbed me yet, so yeah.
I'm all for it. Like, yes, queen.
Yeah, she hasn't stabbed me yet, so yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, what else do you want to talk about? We have, like, 20 minutes left.
Well, that was what I wanted to mention, and of course the Royal Rumble's tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I'm hoping Sasha Banks wins. I got money on her winning. Also, they finally introduced the women's tag team titles. And another thing I gotta say.
Wasn't women's tag team champions banned because of Moolah?
Yeah.
You should see my resting bitch face Moolah like this.
Yeah. Yeah, what was I going to say? Anyway, and so those are coming back, and I'm very glad for that. And what was I going to say? And I really, really hope that WWE is going to do what I think they're going to do, and I really hope they do it soon, because Naomi needs Cameron back. With this whole incident going on SmackDown, for those of you who haven't been following the story, I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. There's this girl named Mandy Rose who I think is awesome, mostly because her and her tag team partner, Sonya Deville, do a thing called Demandy's Donuts on YouTube, where they test random donuts. Anyway, that's beside the point. That has nothing to do with the story. Anyway, this girl, Mandy Rose, is in a storyline right now with Naomi, where she's trying to get her husband. I think it's which Uso? I think it's Jey Uso. It's either Jey or it's Jimmy. I can't remember which one. I know that Naomi's married to one of the Usos, and this girl, Mandy Rose, is trying to get him to do the with her.
Oh my God! Can you just call it what it is?
Okay, she's trying to get him to fuck her. Okay, okay. Here it is in a nutshell.
I don't believe these damn storylines.
I know, but hear me out. Hear me out.
So far-fetched. All right, hurry up, tell this damn story, because I'm over wrestling.
I'm trying to get to the point. Anyway, so to make a long story short, both Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose have been going after Naomi, and I'm like, I think she just needs Cameron back. If they bring back Cameron, that'd be freaking awesome, especially now that we're in a women's revolution and that the women's are taking over the WWE. Just saying.
Okay, wonderful. Are we done with wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Anyways, what else was I gonna say? There's so much stuff that I had on thing. We've been listening to the Hollywood crime scene on.
By the way, we may be doing something on February 3rd.
What are we might be doing on February 3rd?
A tribute to Buddy Holly?
Oh yeah, we got.
Really?
Yeah, that was my bad. I forgot. Well, we're gonna try to work stuff out. I'm not trying to talk a lot about what we're gonna do yet because I haven't figured it out. But I know that we're gonna do something on the 3rd. We'll probably podcast or we'll do a live podcast and show somewhere on the thing. So we'll just let you know because it's a little too far in advance for me right now.
Yeah.
So, anyways, But yeah, they got a Victoria Gotti movie coming out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
And then they just announced an Olivia Newton-John movie in April.
So what are we gonna see? Pretty much her in Scientology too?
Her in Scientology and Viking Grease and that guy that faked his death. Like, yeah, I was like, this is a 2-hour Lifetime movie. We're not gonna get all the juicy, salacious details.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a made-for-TV movie. Like, come on now, come on. Any twizzle. I think I'm done for what I needed to say. What about you?
I got what I needed to say off my chest too with the whole government shutdown thing. I just hope that he doesn't freaking fuck us up even worse without even using lube. So
I wish we still had the Queen in charge of the stupid president, but that's just me. Anyways, you guys, I think we're gonna sign off now. So
yeah, I gotta go sit down because my knee is killing me. So
we'll see you later, and keep an eye out for our YouTube page because we got we're gonna start filming soon, and our first video should either be up tomorrow night or Monday. So
yeah, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.